Come good look at this dog. I don't want your future. And the Creek key. There you go.
I'm gonna say and the Creek. The Legend of the Creek. Okay. And 5, 4, 3.
You can't nod.
We're talking Interstellar spoilers now, so if you have seen the movie, this would be the point in the podcast. We saved it for the end, well, almost the end. We still got to do some other stuff.
God, you swallow louder. You're like, I like it.
I hope it doesn't pick that up on there. I got big lips. I got big women-loving lips. I like big women. Wait.
I think you could use those big lips for something else.
Chicken nuggets.
You'd be a happy man in
barbecue sauce. Barbecue sauce. Anyways.
God, your big lips and barbecue sauce is nasty.
You like that?
I don't like
that. I know
that.
how you like to roll, cowboy.
I don't want your future.
Yeah, so Interstellar. I got the giggles. Interstellar spoiler review. Just joining us in the middle of the podcast. We have our Interstellar spoiler review. You're here now. You've seen it. I've seen it. And I know that you guys have been craving this for some time. We have a very different review of this movie. So we're going to fight.
We ain't gonna spy. We might, maybe. But yeah, so Interstellar, I'm not gonna read, Mike already did the non-spoiler, so I don't even really tell the plot about it. The whole movie, I was just like, what? It was just one of those movies that are just like, they were really shooting for this thinking man's movie, it felt like. And it was like they were trying to pull from Space Odyssey, or not Space Odyssey, what was it? The
2001.
2001 Space Odyssey. They were pulling from that, and then they were mixing it with something like Sunshine or some kind of action-oriented space adventure, and it just, it was good, I don't think it really hit all the points that I wanted it to hit. I think they went so far deep into that metaphorical shit, I was just kind of like, yeah, okay.
I don't know, man. For me, if you've seen the review for it, I'll just say, I like the movie. I gave it a 9 out of 10 because I felt like when you're watching it, it's a spectacle. I mean, we both
it's great. Yeah, the special effects are great.
The special effects were fucking amazing, especially when he's going through the wormhole, when he jumps into the black hole of bookshelves, all that shit. It looks amazing, and there's some really, really special stuff that they do, like atmospherically with the sound and stuff. And you see it if you see it in one of those big theaters, you can actually feel like the sound and like hitting your legs. It's a really fucking awesome theater experience to watch.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, like the special effects, I agree with you completely. I thought the special effects they did amazing with it. But it was like when I said it was Space Odyssey 2001. I meant when I said Sunshine, it's kind of like that, but it's also like they try to mix it with Gravity, but they wanted the realism in there. And it just, I don't think it paid off as well as Gravity did, because Gravity was one of those movies that was like friggin' hardcore awesome, like as far as the realism that they went for, and that they pulled it off with George Clooney and Sandra Bullock. And those guys just anchored it. But one thing I will say, I didn't like that metaphorical stuff. I didn't like certain parts of it because at first I thought it was way too fucking long. Way too long. I went into a sleepwalk when I came out. I was like, have I aged? but the thing is, Matthew McConaughey anchored that movie. Without his emotional presence and the versatility that he has to bring that to the screen, I don't think it would have been nearly half as good. And another thing that just got under my skin a little bit is where were all these random people just popping up from? You had Matt Damon. Then you had friggin' Anne Hathaway. Then you had friggin' Topher Grace. Like, what are you doing here? It's it was just, and then when Matt Damon pops up on that ice planet, or that whatever planet they were on, it was just like, he just sets up, it's like, hi. And it was like, I thought there was going to be an announcement that goes, Matt Damon. it was out of nowhere. And then, of course, Casey Affleck was in it too. And it's like, you got to have an Affleck, you got to have a Damon. It was just the way it works. And I was just like, who else is going to, I was wondering if Bill Cosby was going to be the guy that greeted him in the black hole and be like, it's all about Jello. Because it was just so random, like these people, because they had no purpose in it. Like Topher Grace had no purpose.
Topher Grace had no purpose in it, and I'll agree with you that Casey Affleck, his character, I don't know if you agree with me on this or not, the entire character of Matthew McConaughey's son, his son did not need to exist in this movie. He added nothing to the movie. Like, Casey Affleck, I fucking love Casey Affleck. That guy's another one of those guys, I don't think he gets enough credit because he's an amazing actor. And I'm happy to see him in the movie, but his whole role could have taken the 20 and 30 minutes out of the movie that needed to be out of the movie, because it was way too long. And if you go back and you think on this movie, if they were just changed a couple little minor things, you can erase that part completely. You can take it completely out of the fucking movie, and then the movie's not overly long.
I'm not saying that when I say that they had no purpose, I understand what they were doing with Matt Damon, and I understand what they were doing with Anne Hathaway, but I just think they wasted a lot of these actors. Like Matt Damon, I don't think he nearly got what he's a great actor, so you only have him in it for like 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and it just, that character was just dumb. I mean, he was bad acting.
I like the Matt Damon.
Yeah, but when he's walking away, he's like, I can hear you scream. It was just like,
I like that though.
I know,
it's like this terrible scene. It's like, if Matthew McConaughey about to die or about to pull one of these things, and he's laying there and he's like gasping, and Matt Damon just stops and turns around and it's like, Can you see your children?
It's like one of those, but he's like a creepy serial kid. Like, what do you feel right
and with Sunshine right there. You mentioned Sunshine. It kind of did that thing. I was thinking, holy shit, I can't believe they tried to do this again, where you try to put somebody in this space adventure situation, and you try, all of a sudden you have a soccer horror serial killer.
I thought you were going to say a soccer horror killer. Like, it's never been done. I'll kill you with my soccer ball.
But no, I thought you were going to have that whole scenario, and then, they went away from that storyline. So yeah, it veered off, and it got a little bit ADD at that point, like this whole movie does a lot. I'll give you that. But still, Matt Damon, I thought he did a really good job. I didn't mind his character that bad. The guy's been up there for how long?
No, I understand.
It's a little bit crazy. And I realize it's a little bit out there. Doesn't really fit in the tone of the rest of the movie. But I still liked it. I thought it was enjoyable to watch.
I understand why they had him. I understand the character. I'm just saying, like, you have someone like Matt Damon, and you just get him for that one role.
Maybe they only had him for a couple weeks. Maybe he had to go.
Yeah, I know, but it was just like Christopher Nolan was just trying to shove these great big actors into this movie. It's like Nolan had.
He was going for the.
Yeah, he was going for this big opus or however you say that word, like to get this big space drama adventure, like remnant of Kubrick's 2001: Space Odyssey, because he wanted it to be like that. I just don't think he hit it. I don't think he had maybe it wasn't a fucking time because he had 3 hours to freaking do it.
Yeah.
It just he had so much trying to go on at once, he just couldn't pull it all together. And then like I don't know, the whole thing, the relationship with Matthew McConaughey and his son, it was just, the whole. Not even when he's grown, it's like Matthew McConaughey didn't even have a son. He's like, you're gonna be a farmer? I don't give a fuck. How you doing, daughter? It was just like he never cared. And then of course when you have Casey Affleck and they're like, when you go back to like his whole purpose is kind of stupid because he's just like pouty all the time. He's like, Dad left. Yeah. He's gone, fuck him. And it's like, he went to save the world, you ungrateful bastard, so you could breathe. And it's like, I don't know. And then it's like, the whole thing with the dust. I mean, I guess that's cool. I mean, the dust rolling in and killing their crops, but it's like did everybody in the world just like empty out their dirt devils at once? Is this what happened? It's like, where's
that whole thing made sense though, because we're losing our crops, the Earth's dying, all that shit.
I know, but I just want to go back old school. Where's the comet? Where's Bruce Willis with the nuclear launch?
I mean, that stuff didn't bother me. I thought that the fact that they were in New York and it looked like that, and the whole it's nearly post-apocalyptic setting was really fucking cool.
Was that New York?
Yeah, I think
it was on the farm.
No, it's supposed to be New York because they go to the Yankees game.
Oh,
the Yankees ballpark was a shitty little ballpark.
I was just when I was in my time warp because like that's what I'm talking about. Like there was no way that you couldn't. I fell asleep for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's another thing also. I don't want to hate on her too much because I know people love her. But I'm not that huge of a fan of Anne Hathaway. I'm just not. After watching that, I just think that she's always pouty and she does the same thing. She's like, I'm so smart, but nobody believes me. And it's like, why can't people take me serious? Like, I just don't like her that much. I mean, she's a good actress, but there's something about her. It's just like she plays these roles in a specific way that I just don't like.
I mean, she doesn't bother me. I liked her a lot in 11 Other Drugs. That's a badass.
Yeah, there's some roles that she hits off well.
Yeah, no, but I get what you're saying. I get somebody else said that she was miscast. I mean, I understand where you're going with that. But I mean, overall, is it what bothers you about this movie? I mean, because for me, it's like okay, in a way, it is a disappointment. I get that because Christopher Nolan was trying to make the greatest movie of all time.
Yeah,
I mean, he was really just trying to make the greatest movie. And I get that maybe he's a little bit, pompous in a weird way, and just in his filmmaking style. But at the same time, the movie was fucking epic. I feel like if this movie just came out and someone was like, hey, this movie coming out called Interstellar, you want to go see it? People would be giving it 10. People would be blown away by it because it has such an expectation. Like, even if I gave it a 9 out of 10, and in a sense, it's still a disappointment because you think this could possibly be the greatest movie ever.
Well, I saw the trailer for it. I really wanted to see it. I thought it was going to be an amazing movie. I just think he stretched so far to get so much into one movie that there was just no way. And it was the whole concept of what he was going for about, going through time and fixing the world and doing that and doing this and like repairing the relationship with his daughter and he's the hero, but then like, I don't know, dude, it's just like, go through it because there were the explosions. Like, what's happening? I mean, and I can deal with movies that are like highbrow. I can deal with them, but when it's so obvious that it's highbrow, when it's trying to be so artsy, sometimes I get annoyed. Like, I don't know, and there were some great scenes in it, but overall, I just thought it was way too long. I thought there was too much randomness going on, and I don't know, I thought it was kind of boring.
I just give him credit for going balls deep, though. I mean, because when you go into when he goes over the black hole, and I'm not going to say that, I was fucking just like amazed at that shit when they're going through the wormhole and the way how intense it was. I felt like I was in fucking shit. Like, I was amazed by that shit. Like, just how he shot everything, how everything worked.
Is this your first movie picture show?
How intense it was. No, I'd never seen anything like that before. That was really special, I thought. But you get into it further, and I agree with you. The pacing's off. This movie should have been 2 hours and 20 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
But when he goes over to the other side into the land of the shelves, I get a lot of people saying the science is off, the science bothers me, this makes no fucking sense. And I know that he consulted like an actual really smart person,
astrophysicist or something.
Yeah, to make this movie, and people are saying
big words.
It doesn't make sense in the land of science or whatever. And I'm like, it's a fucking movie though. Like, I mean, if we can watch Avengers and believe that, you know, a human could fly, Superman, then you can suspend belief a little bit for this. So, and I got to give it credit for when he goes into there and they try to dive these dimensions and they do all this shit. It'd be easy to look at that and say they're doing too much. You know, I checked out or whatever. But for me, I was like, I don't understand it. But at least they're kind of pushing a little bit, you know?
Well, he fell to that bookcase. The first thing I thought of was like, the circuits of time, duder. Like, I thought of like Bill and Ted. Like, he was falling into the circuits of time. The bookcase thing, again, it goes back to like acid trip. This is the bookcase. And then you go in and you're like, you thought they were aliens. Like, everybody's like, okay, they're aliens that are helping us. And then you find out, no, they're us, evolved to the 5th dimension. And now they're going to communicate with us in the 2 dimensions. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? So they're humans that are telling us that have evolved to the 5th dimension. See, that's what I'm talking about, dude. When you do that, when you go that far in, you lose people. Like in 2001 Space Odyssey, at the very end of that movie, I still don't even know what the fuck happened. It's like, oh my god, it's full of stars. And you're just still like, what?
That's what happens when I walk into someone's room and they still got those glow stickers on the ceiling.
Yeah, I know, but it's like you just
fucking awesome.
You went way too far. Like, it's like you lost people. Like the 5th dimension, what the fuck does that even look like? Are everybody like flat?
I get what you're saying. I mean, it does make sense in a sense because what you want in a movie is that when you leave the theater, you're going to be talking about, oh my god, what happened? What happened? And they went so far that it was like, I can't talk about it because I don't understand what.
The only way that you could actually discuss this is go to a poetry meeting and smoke pot and then talk to everybody about what they go.
I do, but I mean, are you not? I am. I'm excited to buy the Blu-ray and watch it like 10 times and figure out.
I definitely want to watch it again. I just don't want to pay like $8 or $9 to go to the theater or whatever it is, $15, and sit there and go through another 3-hour movie. Because at least then I can pause and go piss when I have to. Because that was the worst thing. Because you can't miss it. You can't miss the scene because if you miss what happens, you're like, what's going on? But so I had to hold my piss and I couldn't even walk when I got out of the theater. Like my kidneys shut down. And speaking of those science geeks that you said you ran into after the theater, they were also like, well, scientifically, that's not even possible. Yeah, when you mentioned the Avengers, that's exactly right. A lot of people have gotten hung up on this idea that everything has to be uber realistic. And Nolan's Batman series are perfect. I love the trilogy. But it's like nowadays everybody's saying that they have to be so fucking super realistic. All the movies have to make sense. If it was real life, this would happen. But it's like nobody gave a shit, like you said in the Avengers. Like they weren't like saying, "Oh, Thor's hammer it can't conduct electricity because it's stone. He could never throw it like that." But you know, but let it go. And I'm not saying like
let it go.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Let it go.
I let it up. But I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's because the science is wrong. I'm not. I'm just saying the movie was too long. I'm saying that some of the parts, the concepts of it, some of the cliffhangers, some of the shit that went on, I thought were really overdone. It was a well-cooked turkey that had been sitting there too long, and it was like crusty when you ate it. It was like, this is a little bit crunchy.
The only thing I don't get is like at the end of the movie though, he goes into, and here I am, I love the fucking movie, and I'm berating it with you, but at the end of the movie, he's like, I gotta go get Anne Hathaway, and he just like hops in his fucking starship and just fucking flies away. It's like, you got no direction, you got no food, our pets' heads are falling off.
That's exactly my point. When he comes back and his daughter, and she's like, you need to go now, and he go rescue the girl, and it's like, bitch, I just went through time for you, and now you're telling me to go back. And then it's like, and then not to mention, like, she was the one that was accusing the woman of knowing that they were never coming back to begin with. She was accusing Anne Hathaway's character. Now she's telling him to go rescue her. And so he like you say, he jumps in his X-Wing fighter without any coordinates. And he just goes, here I go, off to save the day. And how did he even get back? Did he even punch in the computer to go back to the? Can you go back to the black hole, to the wormhole? Does that make sense?
I know that was a whole lot.
Because it's like they went
fucked, right?
Yeah, they was like, okay, see, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, why do I have to sit here and have like an emotional, intellectual conversation with myself in the theater? Like, what's going on? And everybody else was in there, and they were just
cried.
I was like,
that scene made me cry though, dude.
What?
It did make me cry. When he's talking to that old woman who's now his daughter, which is a fucking awkward situation, you know? It's like, you want some apple juice?
How about some prunes?
But that was a whole awkward situation. But no, I didn't cry when he had to leave his daughter because I thought that scene was going to be way more emotional. I thought it was going to have a lot more to it. I got close to it because, you know, I'm a dad and I'm sure other dads feel the same way watching this. But then there's 2 points I got upset. When he's in space, man, and like they go to that awesome fucking, when that wave was coming over, that was so badass. Yeah, that was amazing. When they're on that land and they're like, oh fuck, Anne Hathaway pulled a cake from Lost and fucked everything, and now we lost like 23 years. Like in an instant, you lost 23 years of your kid's life, and that was fucking hard for me to watch. The whole movie is one of those things like I'm sitting there and I'm just like, get the fuck back, just get the fuck back, and for that it added a level of intensity for me that made the movie way more suspenseful. But at the very end of the movie, when he finally gets to his daughter, and she's this old woman now, she's Matlock. Or Murder, She Wrote. She's laying in her bed.
Or Golden Girl, whatever, yeah.
She's laying in her bed, and she's like, I knew you'd come back. And he's like, how? She's like, because my daddy made me a promise. I was like, like, that was fucking touching.
Yeah.
It was fucking touching.
I'm not saying anything.
So, it was. So, I mean, I love that. I love the emotional aspect. I love the stuff between him and his daughter. Yeah, it was overly long. But fuck, I mean, it had everything I wanted.
Well, after the movie, because of this emotional that you were going through, did you take the tampon out of your butt before? I'm just kidding. I understand what you're saying. It wasn't.
Leave me alone.
Actually, the one scene that I didn't get teared up, but I actually felt the emotional part of it. The little cold black heart after my wife cheated on me moved again. All I'm looking for is a little love in the dark. Was that part where he's looking at the video screen captures when they were sending video and he started crying?
Yeah.
That was like top performance from Matt Damon.
Dude, he's fucking Matt Damon.
No. I mean, Matthew McConaughey. Yeah. Matt Damon. He's in my head. He's like a little fucking elf that just pops up. Boy, I sure hope you're from Keebler. Like, just always there.
What is it with Matthew McConaughey, by the way? Dude was like, everybody made fun of him. He's like, ooh, bogey. And you know, all this like shit like that. It's like, he doesn't wear deodorant. And all of a sudden, he's like, fuck you, I'm the best actor of all fucking time. You know, he just showed up and like kicks ass in everything that he does.
He never changes his
He pulled a Justin Timberlake, man. Everybody fucking hated him, and then everybody fucking loved him.
But I'm not saying he's the only one, but I mean, if you substitute Matthew McConaughey, you know who did amazing as far as emotional aspects?
Are you going to say Christian Bale?
Nope. If they put Mel Gibson in that role.
Wow.
Yes. Wow. Do you feel it?
Mel Gibson should.
I remember you in that farm, that stupid little boy.
Fucking Mel Gibson could have played Anne Hathaway and it would have been awesome. Mel fucking Gibson.
What women want in space.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie.